Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is July 17th, 2026, and this is my weekly market review. We're reviewing the NASDAQ 100, that's QQQ, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over to these charts and see what we see this week. Wow. And let me maximize this quarterly chart. And here we go. On this quarterly chart, let me bring up my other thing also, my little pen. On this quarterly chart, we're seeing red again. And again, this is the first month of the quarter, and starting off red, not that good. And the other thing that I'm looking at here on this quarterly chart, we've dropped. We were above a yearly R1, this green line, and now we're below that line. I do not like that. Again, based on your trading plan and your trading strategy, trade accordingly. Again, once you start seeing stuff like that, it's things based on your trading plan, your trading strategy, just trade accordingly. That's all I can say. No trade recommendations here and all. All right, let's go down to our monthly chart and see what we see there on this monthly chart. On this monthly chart, again, see the other thing that we're seeing here on this monthly chart is that we have turned red. We're still above the 9-10 moving average, so technically we are still bullish. The other thing is we came down and kissed my pivot. One of my rules is above pivot, stay above pivot. So this is my one of my second signs. Okay, are we still good? You know, I'm above pivot still. I started out above pivot, so based on my trading plan and my trading strategy, I'm still okay looking at this smaller time frame for my longer term type trades that are part of the NASDAQ. I'm okay. But based on your trading plan and your trading strategy, trade accordingly. The other thing that we're beginning to see here is we're beginning to see an evening star and forming and stuff. And the other thing that happened here that we can look at here, we got below that one number that I was saying, 700. So again, based on your trading plan and your trading strategy, trade accordingly. That's all I can say. All right, let's go ahead and go down to our weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, let me zoom in here. See, on this weekly chart, this is what I was looking at before. I was looking at that some people might have been looking at, we were at a downward trend because we was getting higher, we was getting lower highs and with on the low side, it really wasn't getting that lower low. But this last week, we did have a lower low, but it pushed back up. It pushed back up to the point where I say we're at the center. We was at that 725 number, and I said based on that 725 number, which way are we going to break? Are we going to break to the upside, or are we going to break to the downside? Because we was right in the middle, and as we can see on this weekly candle here, we have broken to the downside. That there again. You know, based on your trading plan, your trading strategy, all I can say is trade accordingly. And again, on the pivot for this week, this past week, we just ended up staying on the pivot on these monthly pivots, and also that was another sign. Again, you know, based on your trading plan and your trading strategy, trade accordingly. We have broken off to the downside. We are continuing this little downward swing that we're getting. The question is now, how far down? We've broken 700. Our next pivot point that we have down here is at 659. 659, that's for some of us, that can be a long ways down. So again, how long have you been in that position? How much profit are you willing to give back? You know, what's going on? But the other thing that you can also be looking at, this was a pretty good little demand candle right here. And that's where we at. We're fighting on this candle right here around this level here at this 677 level and 670 level, 680 level, and we closed at 695, and so we're right here at this level where we can see this candle push back when it got down into this area, in this candle area where these traders push this thing on up. So be careful. All I can say is be careful, be careful, be careful. That's where we're at, and based on what I'm seeing here at this time. Let's go ahead and go down to our daily noise and wrap this on up. On the daily candle, on this daily chart here, one of the things that we have to pay attention to today was expiration Friday. I did get my text this morning telling me that I had positions that were going to be expiring. I was okay with those positions expiring and stuff because they were calls that I had sold on my positions and stuff. So, and I'm okay with that. But the thing is with selling calls on your position is almost you need to sell call spreads, and buy puts. When the market is dropping, and I hate buying puts, but I'll do this call spread stuff, and then you just load up on that, to kind of offset any losses that you may have, and also do maybe some directional trading, but it's going to be intraday type stuff. I'm not buying any long term puts. That's That's my trading plan, my trading strategy. I don't buy long-term puts at all. Sorry. Although long-term puts can be insurance on your stock, because again, you're buying something that allows you to sell your stock at a set price if that's something that you want to do, is to lock in some profits. So there's nothing wrong with buying puts and all. It's just have a plan, know your plan for purchasing that put. Now back to where we was last week. Let's zoom on in here a little bit more and take a little closer look at this. Let me zoom in here right here, because I want to count the days. The day is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I had said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was Friday, and this Friday, that past Friday, last Friday, it was this candle right here, this green candle. It was right here at this midpoint, this 725 area and all. And I had said, go back to my video and look at it. If you watch my video, I said this was the point where we going to decide which way we were going. Looked like we had reversed and was ready to start heading back to the upside and all, but seemed like the sellers and all, they jumped into this thing, pulled those bids out, and let this thing drop and all. And we couldn't. The thing is, not closing above this number right here, this 725 come Monday, was the sign. Not being able to break that number and get a close above that number on this day here back on Wednesday, that was the sign and all. So again, learn to see what's happening in the market. One of the things I used to put out every now and then, see the market, see what it's doing. The stuff, they give you warnings and all what's happening and all. You just got to learn to follow the money and all. And that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to share at this time. Right now, I see this market slipping. Come next week, look like we will be opening on the pivot. And since we had a pretty big range here this past week, these pivots has gotten kind of wide and look like we may have a hard time getting back above 25. But we've created some gaps in the market. We've got to see what's going to happen next week. We'll come back up and fill some of these gaps that we've created. And then it's still going to be the question. The question now is, can we break this 725 level and all? We're at 700, and the thing is, will we see, before any and all this happen, will this market end up slipping way on down here to come next week? Will we slip all the way to, below 670, easily, somewhere down to 670 to 666 down here, somewhere down in this area here on our support 2 level, our support 1 or support 2. We're already close to support 2 and all, opening up below pivot, and I'll easily come down and come to support 2 and maybe give us a bounce. If not, we'll be going down to support 1, going down to support 2, and maybe getting an additional bounce. That's just what I see. Let me just bounce out a little bit here, because right now we had a little bit of a demand zone right now, right here, it's right where we stopped at and got a pretty good bounce, but we got below all this stuff here. The thing is, though, it can get, based on that weekly candle, this is that big weekly candle that we saw on the other thing. So this area, but we really may not find any support until we get, again, like I say, down here in this area here, between 670 and 660. No trade recommendation. It's just what I see based on how the market has traded in the past and all, and that's what I see. And that's it. That's all I really want to share at this time. This is Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Have a good one. See ya. Bye. Thank you, new subscriber, if you made it to the end.